G'day, Chief. Welcome to Career Crossroads Part 2 on Should I Stay or Should I Go? Now, look, last week, we spoke all about making sure you're aligned to your vision. You've got out of Dodge, you've gone to the mountains or to the beach or somewhere to get clear in your head. You've aligned to your life and career vision. And you've also aligned to the key criteria of a job right now that would be ideal given your current context in life. Then we said we would park that because what we really want to do now is go back to identifying the real problem. One of the worst things we can do here is we can jump into a future state or a future job opportunity or something, but we do it for the wrong reasons. And as a result, we don't get anywhere. And you know what? That just leads to more frustration. Then you start kicking yourself because you're like, why did I do that? This is no better than it was before. And then you say to yourself, oh, the grass is greener where you water it, and you know all this kind of stuff. And that don't help because you just feel bad because you made the wrong move. So what we want to do is we want to identify the real problem. There's a magic book out at the moment called The Road Less Stupid. And in this book, the author talks all about not paying a stupid tax. And one of the things that is about is making decisions that cost you commercially and in your life and achieving your life goals. What we want to do is identify the real problem, not the symptom. So I'll talk a bit about that. So let's just say for a minute, in your job, you're not being paid what you're worth. Well, that's what you feel. You know, that's a symptom that you're not being paid. The root cause, the real problem is you don't have a unique value proposition in the market. You're not branding yourself or you haven't delivered enough of a track record to warrant that income. Anyone who's being paid a premium or paid a bigger salary than you, they've defined that. They've nailed that. If you don't have that, then the symptom will be you get called up by a recruiter saying this is a salary package and you think, I'm worth way more than that. You know, another example is perhaps by the way, the end outcome is a new job won't solve that, right? The second example is, maybe your boss isn't treating you well. You know, maybe they're just not appreciating the work you're doing or maybe they're not putting on development programs or something like this, and you're saying to yourself, you know what, I feel like I'm really valuable to this organisation, but I'm not on the high potentialist program, I'm not getting where I want to get to. They're all symptoms, right? Once again, the real problem there is that you're not seen necessarily as a high potential in the business because you haven't made that track record, you haven't done the stuff, you haven't fostered that relationship where your boss is your number one customer. So you can see what I'm saying, this is a bit of a mirror for you now. And it might be a bit hard. That's why it's really good for you to get away from Dodge a bit and really think about your performance as a leader. Because we don't want to shift jobs now and go to a new place and have history repeat itself. We want to go to a place now where you are totally ready to tackle a new job or change the way you approach your current job. Because what we've got here is really only two options. You're going to stay where you are now and improve things, or you're going to go somewhere else and start afresh. Right, so that's what we've got to work out. So how do we do that? Well, we want to consider three criteria. This will all be in the show notes, by the way, so check out the show notes anytime you want, right? We want to understand what are the functions of the job that you do now, and do you like them? Do you value doing that kind of work? Right, so that's the functions of the job, but also what goes to that is the title, the salary, and the job requirements for travel, for workload, for how many hours a day, what kind of flexibility you have. This is all within the functions of the job. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down all the functions of your current job, right? As I said, everything from salary, job title, hierarchy, all that kind of stuff, development opportunities. Put all that down and say to yourself, okay, in this list here, how many of those tick the box of my ideal current role? That's step one. Step two then is the other side of a job, not just the function or the role itself, but how are you being treated? I can't remember the exact figure, but it's like 75% of people leave their job because of their boss, not because of the function. So what's the problem here? Is it the job itself? Is it how you're being treated in the role by your boss and your peers maybe? And then the last one is just to consider the general environment. What's the behavior of the leadership group as a whole, and what's the culture of the business? each one of these in isolation can be enough to cost you a job and say, I can't do it. Because if you're doing a job every day you don't love, and there's no prospects for growth, the salary's not enough, something in the end is going to give, right? You'll give enough energy, but eventually you'll run out of steam. Same with this, right? You might have the best job in the world, but if your boss is treating you poorly, guess what? You will run out of steam and you'll start looking somewhere else. You might have the best job in the world and a great boss, but the place you work, oh my God, it's just got the worst culture outside of your team and you just can't handle it. Or the organisation is doing something that is morally questionable, right? The values are being compromised, or your values are being compromised. So what we're going to do now is, for each of these three things, so write down the functions of your job, work out all the ways, the way you're being treated, put down some of the things about the culture of the organisation. For each of those, put the good things and the bad things. Now we've got to work out, is this something that I can change, adjust through my behaviour and my approach? That is, there's nothing in here that's a deal breaker, right? And that's why I say it's either, if you stay, nothing's a deal breaker. If you go, something is a deal breaker. Let me give you some examples of deal breakers. You're not earning enough money because your family needs more. Something as simple as that, right? You're not doing the job you're hired for, or you've been in the job far too long and there's no chance of being promoted, and you just desperately, in your life, you want to get to the next level, right? How I'm being treated. Your boss never turns up to one-to-ones, they don't give you any feedback, they don't coach you, they compromise values all the time, maybe they backstab other people, it just doesn't fit, right? Actions of the leaders of the culture, maybe there's just no energy in the business anymore. The spirit's gone, the love is gone, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need something more, right? So they're examples of potential deal breakers, and that's up to you to determine. If something is not a deal breaker, so let's just say for a minute maybe you're not being appreciated by your boss for your work. The key question is, can you do something more to own the problem, to change the situation? You know what, you'd really be disappointed in yourself if you went to a new job, got in a very similar situation, and your boss started doing the same thing. You know what, you're back in exactly the same place. As I said before, history is repeating itself. Let's work out a way to solve that problem of having a conversation with your boss to be appreciated more. And it might just be sitting down and saying, hey, you know what, boss, look, I know we're really, really busy, but every now and then I just need a bit more of a pat on the back. I just need to be told everything's okay. I need to know if I'm going to hit my bonus or not for the work I do. That kind of stuff. Have a good, strong, courageous conversation with your boss. That might be 20 minutes, half an hour, easily spent, rather than trying to go through the whole rigmarole of a new job, which might take you 6 months to feel comfortable again and get back in flow. A half-hour conversation to see if you can change things, or a big change in your life. That's the difference, okay? So, if we're going to go down this path of go, the key question here is, there's a deal breaker at play. There's something in play, or multiple things that together make a deal breaker, okay? And what you're saying here is, I need a fresh start. I need a new job. I need a new kind of boss, or I need a new culture of the business. Now, what's really important for that, and this is going to lead into part 3, is that will tell you the kind of job you're looking for. You might be able to just say you've got the right job, you go to the exact same job somewhere else, but in the interview process, you're interviewing them to make sure you get the right boss and the right culture that's different to where you are now. Or vice versa. Maybe you've got a great culture and a good boss, but it's a job function that's got to change, and you go to the market, and then once again you're looking for these things to be ticked, but now you're looking for a bigger job, or a job in a different business, sideways or something like that. The other thing about go is, sometimes the go could be horizontally or diagonally in the organisation you're in. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to go anywhere else. Righto, Chief, that's now for you to check out and have a real close look at. Okay, as usual, I put all the information, this process in the show notes. You can go there and check it out and as I said in part 1, get out of Dodge when you do this. Get out of town, go away, some clear thinking so you can go through this process. Part 3 now, which will be next week, we'll be talking all about how to then have a look at the options, create more than one option, and then a bit of an execution plan to move you to the next level and a new job. Righto, Chief. as always. Oh, by the way, there's a voucher for you on the Chief Maker Academy for the game plan course. $200 voucher. Just type in Legacy, Legacy, and you'll get a $200 voucher. All right, Chief. As always, remember to stay epic.